Speaking of advantages of having time, the Chiefs have a lot of time to really kind of get down on this draft. As we heard Spags say it earlier this past couple weeks, they're going to have more time to kind of evaluate and look at things. And what is the plan for the Kansas City Chiefs going into the offseason? Offense, defense, whatever it may be.
Well, let me ask you something real fast. Do you think they need a kicker?
I think
because you said offense, defense, and I immediately wanted to go special teams, and that's why I thought
it's not in the top 5 massive needs for me. But I do believe in in-house competition, and I think Harrison Butker has had that comfortability, and also age is undefeated, and eventually it's going to find its way into it. But if I'm being honest, I saw what happened with Baltimore. And I think I still trust Harrison Butker to kick a ball through the uprights in a playoff game that matters.
Yeah, I think I do too.
But I don't think that's where their top 6 needs are in the offseason.
No, I don't think so either. But I was just
wondering.
It's
D-line, running back, wide receiver, offensive line, maybe an option later on in the draft.
Yeah. Linebacker, secondary.
Yeah,
I mean, so we just named every position group on the field. I mean, seriously, when you think about it, guys, there are a lot of holes on this team right now. And I was talking to some folks over the break about what the offseason plan is going to be. And here's what I kind of gathered, from the information I was given about what their offseason plan is going to be. I'm just going to give it to you. You can agree with it. You can disagree with it. However you guys want to do it. Don't shoot the messenger, type of things. But pre-draft, I'm told that this organization wants to get a running back, 2 defensive tackles, and a defensive end. Now, the problem is with the defensive tackles, from what I understand from the talent evaluators of the world, this isn't me, this is what I'm just regurgitating. They don't feel there's a lot of great talent in a free agent market for defensive tackles, so they're going to have to get creative in that market for a defensive tackle. There is going to be a lot of roster movement going on for the Kansas City Chiefs. So before the draft even starts, they want to have their running back in place. They want to have 2 more defensive tackles and a defensive end in place. I mean, that's a big haul in quote-unquote free agency / the trade market. That's your window of opportunity, basically, that starts on March 15th and goes to, March 17th when it's all, said and done. In baseball, it would go until, opening day. But in the NFL, that's the hit it and quit it type stuff. So they want to go out there and they want to really hit it hard in free agency and in the trade market with those positions. And I think those are positions that you need to hit hard in the trade market / free agency period. Everybody knows the running back is a major need here in Kansas City. We've got to get that running back here in KC, and they do need more help along the defensive line. I don't know what you guys thought about the defensive line this year, but to me, that thing looked old, it looked tired, it looked slow. It was a step short every single time until like the last game of the year when Chris Jones found an extra gear and got some sacks, in that game against the Oakland Raiders. Now,
he had a defensive line this year?
Yeah, well, that's a good point. I don't know. I really don't know.
Gelati was a stud.
He played good at the end.
Norman Law was okay until he got hurt.
We didn't allow those guys to really get enough playing time. Obviously, Norman Lear with the injury, you can't factor that in. But Ashton Gelati should have been playing a hell of a lot more. So the running back position they feel should be an easy fix. There's going to be plenty of running backs out there. I think a lot of guys, understand what this offense can be. It's still Kansas City. It's still Patrick Mahomes. It's still Andy Reid. You probably want to come here and play. Jalen Moore is going to be your starting right tackle next year. They've got plans for Jalen Moore being. You guys good with that?
Yeah,
I'm good with that, right? You feel good with that?
Sounds
right?
awesome.
Yeah, I feel pretty good with that.
I have no issues with the O-line.
I don't either, but I mean, something wasn't right. Okay, and I don't know if that's just the quarterback bailing early or the continuity never got there. But you're kind of with
tackle,
me.
missed 5 games.
Yeah, it was just there was something if everybody's healthy and good to go, it should be good. But it still felt like there was something not right about that offensive line. I don't know. That's just the way I felt.
I think our offensive line is overrated.
I don't disagree with you.
I think it's
really
fine.
Don't.
I don't think it's a top 5 offensive line in the league.
I think that's a great
For the
point.
money that is invested in that offensive line, it should be better.
I agree.
That's just my personal opinion.
I don't think you've seen it. Anyone has seen it at its full potential. So I don't think we can really overrate it or underrate it. We haven't seen it. You saw it for a few weeks with a rookie left tackle who was just getting the hang of it. A guy who had never played left guard. They had never played together, all 5 of these guys, which we know that takes weeks, months to even really figure that out. Gel. It takes a couple months to really gel and figure that out. And then, of course, guys missing time, injuries, all that stuff. I'm not worried about the offensive line.
Okay, and then you look at the draft. They think there's good depth at wide receiver, good depth at offensive line, good depth at linebacker, and good depth at safety, too. And I know that's not like a sexy position for a lot of people, but the safety position, for whatever reason, is kind of popping, when you start to look at mock drafts. And Bleacher Report had this kid from Ohio State, Clive Davis or something like that, as the guy. And not only did they say he's the best defensive safety, Bleacher Report said he may be the best player in the draft. And they had him mocked to the Chiefs at number 9. If you can get a guy that's not only the best at his position, but arguably the best player in the draft at number 9, that's a hell of a spot. And yes, the Chiefs will be able to get one of those top picks at number 9. They think they're in very good position right now to get a guy that they want at number 9, because at least 2 quarterbacks are going to go ahead of them.
One for sure, depending on what Dante Moore does.
Right, yeah.
As we heard, again, that's just McShay talking about, how he doesn't want to go to the Jets. The guy that I want, that I think solves a lot of your problems, is Ruben Bain out of Miami. I think he's going to go higher than 9. I think he might be a top 5 pick, might be the 5th overall pick. But Ruben Bain, watch him play when Miami plays against Ole Miss. Watch that guy play.
Yeah, he's really good.
6'3", 270 edge rusher. You want that red ass, you want that badass on the edge, go watch Ruben Bain play for Miami.
I've seen him mocked to the Chiefs a couple of times, too.
I'd be satisfied.
I've also seen him mocked to the Titans. I've seen him mocked to the Giants. I've seen him mocked almost to every team in the top 5.
Ruben Bain's with Burns and Abdul Carter.
Yeah, that'd be nuts. They don't need to do that.
You don't need to, but you know what?
If
you could, and
Philadelphia
you should.
did it. How's it
That's
working out there?
exactly right. That's exactly. You got a position that is this close to being dynamic, and you can make it. You can truly make that position dynamic. I think you go and do that. You're right. The Philadelphia thing, or the Legion of Zoom up in in Seattle when it was running in its heyday, or teams that stack offensive weapons like the Chiefs did for a while. You want to go to one of those teams. Yeah, I think that would be a good pick by the Giants.
Give me David Bailey out of Texas Tech, same position as Bain.
Not mad about it.
20 pounds lighter.
I want an edge rusher. I don't want anything else. I think you can go find your core players that are skill players in free agency, and if you want Clark to open the checkbook and spend money, I think if you want something that is secure, you go find a free agent wide receiver and you find a free agent running back. You've said Breece Hall. There will be receivers that will be free agents, and then you go build your draft on guys that seem to kind of figure it out in the league that are drafted that high, and DNs and defensive tackles.
Yeah, you got to go defensive end in this draft, I think. I should say that, but what if Bailey and what's his name from Miami are taken before number 9? Then you don't want to reach, and that's the problem people get into, is like, we've got to have a defensive end, and then you're picking 9, and you've got the best possible player on the board at safety, or you've got the 3rd best defensive end on the board. You've got to take the best player.
If you had a serious defensive line on this year's Kansas City Chiefs team, they would have started out 8-0. They'd have probably won that Chargers game. They'd have won that Philadelphia game. They would have won that Jacksonville game. And then they would have been going into week 9 as 8-0 because they would have had a defensive line presence.
And I think that's also why they want to address that in free agency more than anything, or via trades. I think we're going to see trades, guys. I think we're going to see a lot of movement, on this roster. And I think there's going to be at least one big trade that has everybody going, oh my, that was huge. And the Chiefs were involved. And maybe it's Myles Garrett. Maybe it's not. If I'm Myles Garrett, I'm saying, I'm out, man. I'm done. I don't care who my next head coach is. I don't want to be in this Cleveland, filth pit anymore. I got to get the hell out of here.
Can ask Binkley tomorrow.
We will.